Okay, and as all of you are entering the Zoom meeting room here, maybe I can just say a brief good morning to those of you tuning in from Europe. Good afternoon to those of you who are tuning in from China, and good whatever else it could be, where else you may be tuning in from, to today's session on effective cross-cultural communications and negotiation skills. We will give just 30 more seconds to allow the last people to enter the room, and then we will be starting. Thank you.
Okay, Nikolai, can we start?
Yes, let's go. Let's start, Martin.
Yeah, perfect. Hello to everybody also from my side. I welcome you to this second webinar of the program that is dedicated to European SMEs companies that wants to do business with China. For those of you that were not present on Monday, maybe just 2 words. I'm Martin, and I'm representing Spirit Slovenia. We are a Slovenian national business development agency, and we are very happy to partner with EU SME Centre and organizing together this program. China is for Slovenia definitely one of the priority markets. And I just want to say that we invite you to contact Spirit Slovenia for any kind of business opportunities you have with Slovenia, or if you are a Slovenian company for any kind of export opportunities and that you see that you need some help. That's very briefly from my side, and I give back the word to you, Nikolai, to continue.
Thank you very much, Martin. And yeah, as you say, this session today is the second session out of a series of 5 sessions in total. The webinar series here, we call it the Capacity Building Webinar Series. And the Capacity Building Webinar Series is hosted in collaboration with Spirit Slovenia, the EU SME Centre, and also Eurochambres. So today's session, for those of you who were not here last time we had the first session, the second session here is about effective cross-cultural communication and negotiation skill. But it is only the second out of 5 sessions in total. Now, before we get into today's speakers, I would just like to very briefly explain to you guys a little bit more about what the EU SME Centre is. I think some of you have already heard these words before, potentially last Tuesday, so I will keep it brief. But the EU SME Centre is an EU Commission funded project that has been ongoing since the year of 2010, so on its 12th year now. The purpose is to help European small and medium-sized enterprises getting ready to do business in China. So right now, as of now, we are in what we call it the 3rd phase of the project, and it runs in total 18 months. And the EU SME Centre helps to prepare and do business in China by a couple of different ways. One of them is to provide information. Another one is to provide advice, training, and also to support services. I'll get a little bit more into that. We have a physical office here in Beijing, but we are very much also present around other places in Europe. The project is brought to you by 5 different chambers of commerce and business councils. Those are the European Union Chamber of Commerce, the Italian Chamber of Commerce, the China-Britain Business Council, Eurochambres, and the Danish Chamber of Commerce, which is where I'm also working. So the EU SME Centre, what does it do? Well, basically, it does 4 different aspects. First one is it acts as a knowledge center, meaning that on our website, we have a vast catalog of around 200 market reports on different aspects of doing business in China. And these reports can be accessed for free. So please go on the website and see if there's anyone that could be available for you. The second aspect is that the EU SME Centre also acts as an advice center. One thing we'd like to highlight is that we have recently created a self-diagnosis tool, which is basically like a test that is quite comprehensive, where you answer a few questions on different aspects of your business with China, whether or not you have already come to China or not. And then the test will give you a result and kind of measure how ready you may be to enter the Chinese market, and what perhaps you could look into improve more or learn more about before entering the Chinese market. Also on our website, we have a Ask the Expert function, where you can ask pretty much anything about doing business in China, how to enter, what about this sector, and so on, what about these policies for this? And then we will get back to you in just about 5 working days. Now, the third aspect of the EU SME Centre is that it also acts as a training center, which is what we are doing today. So we have a lot of different workshops, both online here as we have now, or offline in Beijing on Europe, or most of the time hybrid. So both. The topics that we cover are pretty much anything. We're very much open to any suggestions that you may have for topics that we could cover in the future as well. Now, the fourth and final aspect of the EU SME Centre is that it also acts as an advocacy platform, meaning that the EU SME Centre establishes meetings with Chinese and EU authorities, stakeholders, and also allows for workshops where the companies can be participating in, and provide on other updates that could be relevant on the advocacy aspect. So I will try and keep it brief, but one thing that I would like to say again is that today's session is the second of 5, so that also means that we will have 3 more. They will be on the 8th, 10th, and 15th of March. But we also have another event I would like to highlight just a little bit. It is the 22nd of February, money transfers in China, the revolution of cross-border payment solutions. It's quite a niche aspect, but a very interesting one as well. So please, if you have interest, you can go on our website and sign up. All of our events are always free of charge. One last thing I also want to say here, or maybe I want to say 2 last technical things. One is that you can, of course, and we highly encourage you to ask questions during the session that we will then bring at the end in a Q&A session with today's speakers. So many of you have probably entered many Zoom meeting rooms by now, but in case you don't know how to submit a question, you can click on the Q&A function down in the bar here in Zoom, and then you can ask them anonymously, and we will answer them at the end of the session. That is the one technical thing. The other technical thing is that we will also, we do all these events for free, of course, and we always want to improve our services. So one thing that we would hope to ask you afterwards is that we will be sending out a little survey to see how we can improve in the future. So if you receive a little survey for a feedback survey, we hope that you would help us to fill it out and see how we can improve our topics and our deliveries in the future. So with that out of the way, I'm not gonna be talking anything more. I would like to hand the floor over to Mr. Antonio Liu Yang, who is a coach, intercultural trainer, and he has also been doing quite a series of these workshops together with the EU SME Centre. I believe today is the third one that we are doing. So so we're very happy to have Antonio with us today. So Antonio, if you have the slides, I'm
ready. Thank you very much, Nikolai, for the introduction. So I will start. Okay. So let me also see. I need the chat. Okay, over here. I don't need to see my face, so I will put this here. So that's me, a nice picture. Nikolai already said what I am, what I do, and I will start with some rules for the session of today, okay? So first, as you know, you see my face, I'm not a native speaker, so sorry about my broken English. So maybe you have some difficulty to understand me. That's why we go to the second point. Sorry about the death by PowerPoint. I put a lot of text on the slides so you can follow me. If you don't understand my broken English, or sometimes I will come out with my Spanglish or even with Chinglish, some Chinese word with with English, right? And also, I want you to be active and participate via the chat or via the question and answer. Yes, and the fourth part is please find your aha moments and share them with us by chat, okay? Sometimes I'm telling you a story maybe about a situation in China, and you will say, aha, that's why they behave like this when I was in China making business, right? And 5, enjoy this entertainment, grab your favorite drink and enjoy. Maybe in this next 70 minutes, we are going to learn something, but also we're going to have fun, right? So let's start with today's agenda. First, we're going to talk about communication beyond language with China. Second part, the cross-cultural competence with your attitudes, or your behaviors, and the knowledge about China. And the third part, if we are running out of time, we're going to make like a group exercise, maybe for homework, to how to negotiate with Chinese partners, right? So I choose the iceberg picture because we're going to go from the top to the deep of the iceberg, right? Easier and more difficult at the end of the session. I also will have a colleague, Yarniña. I don't know if I said right your name. She will help her with a lot of real situation. She's an entrepreneur in China, and she will speak. She will explain something like Chinese specific country knowledge, like guanxi or mians afterwards, right? So let's start with the first part. I see a lot of, yeah, sorry.
Antonio, maybe I can skip in already for the start, the name, you know?
Yes, please tell me your name.
So yeah, my name is Yarnea.
Yarnea.
My name is Yarnea, not Jernea, Jernija, all sort of things I was called. Okay. So that's why maybe as well, I guess your birth name is not Antonio, but you are using it because it's easier than for us.
That's why I'm
for us to remember and to spell it, right?
Yes. Can you tell us your Chinese name? Maybe it's easier.
Yeah, my Chinese name is Inea.
Inea, okay.
Yeah, so it sounds very similar.
Yes.
And it's like translation, so you can read it, and of course you need to put it on the business card as well in Chinese characters. So
that's a very good tip. That's why I'm speaking. I'm explaining it right now. Me suena chino is the Spanish word we said. It sounds Chinese to me. So I will ask people, the participants, what does it sounds Chinese to me means? Possibly, Inea. Great, thank you. So I saw some Spanish surname and some Spanish names. Can you put in chat what me suena chino means for you? Please be active and participative. Yeah, I do not understand. Hard to understand, Nikolai, thank you. Difficult, almost impossible to understand. Right, me suena chino. Is something I had to learn when I arrived to Spain. Me suena chino. Why chino? Okay, and you know the in English they said it sounds all Greek to me. And as we are from different part of the world, can you say or translate from your language? What do you say in your country or in your culture when you don't understand something? You also say it sounds Chinese to me, or it more sounds Greek to you, or maybe it sounds Spanish to me. I know the German says cosa. I know the German says it sounds Spanish to me. It's weird, right? It's very Italian. Okay, Italian. Rosela, gracias. So that's weird. Different part of the world understand the different languages from the different it's different ways to understand, or better say, it's different way to not understand something. And we say it's Chinese because it's hard to understand. But in German, they say it sounds Spanish to me. Okay, and you know that in Chinese, Rosella, we don't say shama. Shama is what, okay? But if it's something so difficult to understand, we said Tianmen, which means heaven script, or Niaoyu, means the language of the birds. So metaphors, okay? So another example, you can read it. It's a picture from the book. When Nixon shook Madame Mao's hand, he exclaimed, "Madame Mao, you are so beautiful." She replied with "Nali Nali," to indicate that Nixon was flattering her too much. The hardware translator, however, provides a literal translation of where, leaving Nixon completely flummoxed. So this situation, let's see "Nali Nali," what does it mean, right? Nali Nali, according to Google Translator, is where, and the hardware translator was right. But what does Nali Nali means? I see some native Chinese in the participant list, or someone like Rosella, you know, some Chinese, or maybe Inea can tell us Nali Nali. What is Nali Nali? A part of where?
Hi.
So, I love it. So. It's an expression to show you're polite. Yeah, yes. Inea, please.
Yeah, to show the polite, like you like that someone said, yeah, you are beautiful, but it's like, I'm not gonna say, yes, of course I'm beautiful. Like, no, it's like
yes, it's modesty, yeah,
or
right?
like modesty, like, thank you for the compliment, but I'm not, kind of, something like that. Yeah.
Great, and this is the very first. Don't say it, right? Don't say it. In Spanish, will say no hay de qué. It's nothing, right? Don't say it, right? That's the meaning. That's the meaning from Nali Nali. If we put two words together, the same word, where, it means modesty. It's as Inea said, correct. Don't say goodbye tonight. So, just some very quick tips for you. Don't trust always or too much in Google Translate. Hire professional translators, there's a lot of them. And try decode the Chinese context, okay? We're going to talk about context. According to Edward T. Hall, anthropologist from the States, some cultures they are low context cultures. They are direct, explicit, with clear rules, frankness, specific. And other cultures we are high context cultures, indirect, implicit, with somehow different rules. We like go between, read between lines or listen between lines, right? And we prefer stay in general, and then we go to specific. So this is the boring part. And you can see in this graphic what cultures or country we are more high context culture, like China or Chinese. And in the other end, at the other end, we have Germany or Scandinavian country. They are very low context cultures, right? So let's see something related from here. So China, we like to go from macro to general to micro specific. Just see this. This is from the book, right? From general to specific, and the other way is from specific to general. So this is the first of many questions. So you are presenting your company to your Chinese colleagues, and you should start with A or B. A, the good relations between your country, region, or city and China, and then your company and products. Or B, first your company and your products because it's yours, and then the relations between countries are issues for geopolitics. Yeah, Mark, choose A, like exclamation, Human. Yes, everyone choosing A. So you don't need this session because you are clever enough to deal with China. Why you choose A? someone can tell you by chat, or Inea, you can contribute if you want with your experience, or in your case, and when you start like a toast, you start with your company or with your country.
I started with my country.
Great.
Of course. Maybe here as well something, not even my country, Slovenia, because I guess you all know Slovenia was part of Yugoslavia long ago, but we still were. And usually I had meetings on a higher level management. They were like older men.
Yeah.
So they all knew about Yugoslavia and Tito. So whenever I started to talk, I mentioned, yeah, I'm from Slovenia, which was part of Yugoslavia. So then they were all excited about, they were watching 2 movies, like Walter Brani Sarajevo and Most. Yeah. I guess you did watch it as well. I bought DVD, I still didn't saw it.
I'm old enough for that kind of movies. I'm old enough for that. But
I was not, so they were surprised how you didn't watch. And I was like, I'm too young, you know. So they would start to sing the song from the movie, and things like this are really a good start for conversation, and then for this guanxi relationship we are talking about.
And thank you, Claudia, to say in the guanxi with Chinese characters. And that's why I can still remember some old movies. I think, I don't know, just a song comes to my mind. The song of Bella Ciao is maybe some soundtrack with Sarajevo movie or something. I can't remember, but I think it's a good point to start with your story, your history, your country history with China is a very good step to start. And just see this picture. Why I'm telling this? Because this is something we have in all levels, not just for negotiation, not just for like your company to sell something to China. Even in the postcard or in the letters, traditional letter, no emails, right? So we start with the address in Chinese. We will start with country, and then your county or province, and then your city, town, and then the street name, and at the last, your name. It's so opposite. In Spanish, we'll start with the people who will get the letter, and then the street number, your town, your city, and then at the last you say Spain, like the country. So it's different way of think who we are and who we are in our country, right? So Arantxa Badillo says, first build a relationship, and I in the later stage, very later stage, business. Thank you. So we go from macro to micro and from general to specific, right? So I'm going to use this kind of pictures from the artist Liu Yang. It's not me, it's another graphic artist based in Germany. So she made this book like 20 years ago about West in blue and East in red. West blue based in Germany and red East Chinese. So that means low context and high context. What can we see here in communication pattern? We are indirect. We like to read and listen between lines, and you have to know a lot about reading rules, and your attitude and the context are more important than what are you saying. So those are the tips for how to communicate with a high context culture. And this is funny, I will read this. You are asking for a report to be made in a very limited time, and your Chinese colleague says, it might be difficult, but I will do my best. So the answer, again, it's difficult, it will be a challenge, and I will do my best to have it done. You can understand that. Or I will not do it because it's impossible with the time you give me to do it. So Okay, people are already choosing B because between, Alan just say, read between lines. Yes, I will say, I will do my best, but you have to read between lines and you have to know the context that is impossible for me. But I will not say it's impossible for me. If I say it's impossible or it's, I'm running out of time, it will be like a losing face situation that we are going to talk about later. And also I'm calling you an incompetent boss because you are not managing well the timing of this project, right? So A will be your interpretation, will think, okay, she said or he said he will do his best, but it's not the case. Most of the time will be, I cannot do it because it's impossible, but I'm telling you, I will do my best to do it, right? So more pattern of communication with the same picture, and now is something bad in the middle, some problem in the middle. In the West, especially in German market, you will go straight to the point, to the problem and solve it, and then pass it. What about most of the time for who you have experience in China, in Chinese market? Maybe we avoid this bad part and going through, right? Communication pattern, especially bad news, we don't say it, okay? People are indirect and we suggest what we're going to say. And then harmony is another value for us. Harmony is the primary objective of communication. Above the truth, harmony is very important for Chinese culture, right? We're going to see with more example later. Harmony, just remember the word. So this is let me close this. Okay, yes, I put chat here, easier for me to see all the screen. So mutual perception, China and Western, low context and high context. So when a person from a low context culture are seeing a person from the high context culture, he's thinking, it's confusing. What is he saying? He has something to hide, or please get to the point. Don't repeat all the stuff all the time, right? The perception. And what is the other perception? You are too direct. What about my feelings? You are not empathetic enough to understand me. At this point, I have to say, there are some tools to decode people. It's like a small test, and you can know yourself if you are from a low context culture or a high context culture, right? I will give it to you later via chat. Oh yeah, I can put it now, and then you save it for later, and you can make this test to understand yourself and to compare with other culture. So 5 tips to understand high context cultures. Read and listen between lines, so decode the message. Know the reading and writing rules is a characteristic from particularism. We're going to see it right now. People are indirect and suggest what they want to say. If the truth is helpful, we have to change it, because harmony is the goal of the communication. So yes, let's see if we understand the importance of do it more indirectly. So please transform these following sentences from direct to indirect. First one, I'm very upset with your work. How will you say it to your Chinese colleague or Chinese employee? In the chat, please. Someone? Okay. This could be being done differently, right? I'm pretty sure you have potential to do it better next time, right? Thank you, Mark, and welcome. Pedro, I think you can perform better. I love that, Gabriela. Maybe you can check again your work. Room for improvement, right, right. Interesting approach, but how about that? Okay, Nikolai, very good. I think you are using it a lot in China. So next point, next one, the second question. I don't like this idea. Yes, thank you. I will be happy to help you, offer your help. Very good. I will think about it, Pedro. If I read between lines, it means no for me. Okay, I will think about it. I'm not sure about this point, right? Let's do brainstorm together. Great. Offer your help again. Do you have other ideas? Great. So very good. The third one, you are late again. This is a typical Spanish, maybe Spanish situation. You are late again. I will buy you a watch. It's a sarcasmo in Spanish. I will buy you a watch. Yes, Tia, I love that. Imagine traffic. Yes, put some like a guilty, other part, third party guilty. Please try to be still too direct. Yes, I love that. Do you have any problem to arrive here? Yeah, so I can fix it. I will buy a watch. It's a great, it's a Spanish humor. I will get you a watch too for you. Anything urgent happened again, again this morning. So Maggie, good. Maybe we can take out again from the sentence. Maybe you need a car, or maybe just offering like your help. I love that the one with anything happened to you this morning. So yeah, will be like more polite, and the people who will listen to you like this, she or he will understand what are you saying. So maybe it's a good point not to be so direct and transform what are you going to say in some kind of indirect sentences. Thank you for doing this. So we move quickly to the second part. We're going to explain some cross-cultural communication with your attitude, with knowledge and behavior. So, attitude, knowledge, and behavior. In attitudes, maybe open-minded, maybe curiosity in the best way to say curiosity, and then some knowledge. You need country-specific knowledge about China, based on your experience or your readings on. Yes, and sorry, you have to know some cultural dimensions and behavior or abilities. You have to train your ability to read or listen between lines and adapt yourself to the Chinese culture. So a tricky question. Which part is most important for you to know or to work with the Chinese market? Attitude, knowledge, or behavior? It's a tricky question, as I said. Behavior is more difficult because you have to train it. Knowledge, yeah. Everyone's saying a lot of behavior and knowledge. What about the attitudes? we have enough attitudes to work with the Chinese market? We think we are ready. Yeah, Arantxa, yeah, it's the part of the tricky question. Because it's this shape of Barman shape. It's the three of them are very important. It's right behavior. You have to train it with your experience. Do a lot of in Spanish we say ensayos, but it's based in experience to learn how to do it right. And that's what the intercultural trainers we do, to train people to get this kind of knowledge, to have the right attitudes, and also to behave differently when they are doing business with other cultures, right? So we can understand them from the point of views. Great sentence. So today, do the timing, we're going to only see this part, knowledge part, some country-specific knowledge about China, and also 3 or 4 cultural dimensions for you to know how to manage yourself when you are doing business with Chinese. Okay. So these 3, yeah, the 3 is 3. We are going to see some stuff with collectivism, and then particularism, and at the end the power distance. Power distance is hierarchy. Okay, the power or the distance. So once again, with this nice picture, can you tell me some characteristics of individualism or collectivism? Or maybe China is red, obviously, as people, you know, something of China. Can you say something about their behavior with collectivism? Some key ideas? Remember the first question? We said, your company first or your country first? Society is not yourself, Claudia, thank you. So society goes above yourself, right? It's more like my thoughts are above others, right, Beatriz? Anything else? No, okay, we should move to the next point. And no, yes. Individualism, autonomy, achievement, freedom, individual feelings, take care of the others in collectivism, right? And countries or culture like Switzerland, Germany, Scandinavian countries, and collectivism, loyalty to the group focus, harmony, again, harmony, and sense of belonging, right? Countries like Greece, Turkey, or China. China is collectivism, building relationships, creating harmony. And thank you. Yeah, Maggie, Japan also Japan. They are this part, right? Collectivist part. So the tips to understand a collective culture. The obligations are imposed by the group. Italy, I think is like they are in the middle, like in Spain. These things are not from my invention. I forgot say this is idea from Gerd Hofstede. He's one of the oldest interculturalists. He passed away like 2 years ago, and he had a lot of studies about this. Which country is more individualistic? What country are more collectivist, right? And Italy, I think, is like Spain, in the middle. Also, the link I gave you in the chat earlier, you can see it later by yourself. Where are you with comparison to which country? So this is very nice tool because you can put China your comparison country and put yourself like from Spain, from Italy, from Slovenia, and just compare the data, right? So you can see the cultural gap. If the gap is very small, it's okay for you. But if the gap is very, very large, you maybe have some issues to work there. So 5 tips to understand collective cultures. Obligations are imposed by the group focus. Harmony, again, avoid direct confrontation, no confrontation, we don't like confrontation. And the welfare of the group is over the individual. Someone just said it in the chat. Belongs to the group. The group provides help and safe, like safely, it's a very safe place for you to belong. And prize and reward group performance. We don't like individual performance, right? Group performance. And also you have to think like a macro in general, starting with the country. Like all the Chinese, we love China as the country, right? And then you go smaller than smaller. And the last piece of this chain is you, like as a person, as an individual person. So let's move quickly to other point, universalism and particularism. And love this, I will call Inea to explain like a little tip about this picture. As we see in the blue part, the connections, maybe just think about like a small group of the persons. Maybe we know each other, maybe we not. But in China, the connections are very important. We pretend to know more people than we can handle it because we love guanxi. So Inea, are you here? Are you here with us? Can you explain something you have prepared about guanxi? Okay, maybe you are not here. So anyone can, okay, you are here, sorry.
Yeah, I think this guanxi is one of the most important thing in China, actually. Whenever you are socializing, whenever you have opportunity to socialize, just do it, you know. Take every opportunity to go for a lunch, to go for a meeting, to talk, to meet with other people, because like this you are making connections with them, and for sure this is one big part that will help you to do the business, to sign the contract. I think if you only have a good product with good price, amazing company, it's not enough if you don't have guanxi.
Yeah, I totally agree. And a question for the participant. This kind of connections or kind of think how the business will be done, is the same in your country, and or in your country is like, okay, business are business, it's no personal issue in there. So if my company is the best, if my products are the best, I don't have to develop any connections or any relationship with you as a buyer or a distributor or a consumer. Is that right? Or it has to do some kind with guanxi with the relationship also? As we are from different part of the world, I will love to know your opinion. In Scandinavia, we were based on the connection a lot. That I also do or work on relation. That's new for me. Okay, so we love connections. Business, even my boss finds someone on trading Chinese people, they're constantly inviting him to have family. Yeah, him and family like a package, right? Connection are the key, Rosalia. I'm very happy to read that. To some degree, good connection is always important to all countries. Yeah, and some degree, yes. Mar, in Spain, I think connections are very important. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes when I show these pictures to people and to Spanish local company and say, we are not even blue, we are more red than the Germans. So that's right. Maybe your country is more close to China than to the blue part, and congratulations, it's right, it's easier for you. If you are more red than blue, the thing will be easier for you when you are in China. So you can explain it in Spain, we are in the middle. So I would say the relationship first indeed. Arantxa, yes, but also the guanxi connections in Spanish, we say something like when you base everything on your company or your person just based on connections. In Spain, we say like estás enchufado o tienes enchufe. I don't know what to say it in English. So maybe you or someone from Omar can say it in English for me in the chat. Enchufe. I don't know how this is in the English word. But it's like a bad perception when you base everything on your person or your company in your connections to do business. But in China, it's okay. When you base everything on you depends your product or your company depends only in your connections. Aha, you are right, Anthony. Yeah, it's the different kind of perceptions. I'm in Chinese. Nice to know you. Okay. Hello, Maggie. Welcome. So I'm looking for the translation of enchufe for in English. I don't know what is English. So maybe you can help me later. Okay. So let's move on. So very important, the connection you have in China, and it's not a bad thing, but somehow in the recent years they said, okay, guanxi is like a kind of corruption, but it's not at all. But we are avoiding this word guanxi. We don't say like I have guanxi to do all the business. Instead of that, we say something more indirectly. So we say I have resources to do this kind of business. Okay. Kevin, my question may be strange, but a lot of people are trying to understand the Chinese culture and trying to adapt it. But what can you tell us about the other way around? That's right, Kevin. Thank you for bringing that question to the chat. As I said before, or Nikolai said, I'm an intercultural trainer for Spanish companies. And they are making business with China, working with China. And we are right at point, like we're building like a bridge, okay? From this side and from this side. This is the Chinese side, this is the Spanish side. And we like go to this, okay? The Spanish part hire me to do all the session, all the training sessions, they pay me money for train them, and they arrive here. And they are waiting the Chinese part to do the same. But sometimes the Chinese part, they don't do it because the thing is not necessary. And that's the point we are stuck now with a lot of training like this. It's like, okay, the Chinese part, they don't want to do any training, business training, because they know everything and they don't want to like connect because they feel like, okay, we are the market or we are the buyers or we are your business partner and you need me to succeed in Chinese market. You know, the relationship is not equal. It's more like this, China, and the Western part, this. No sé, Inea, you can tell me something with your experience about this kind of situation? Because you just turn on your camera, so.
Yeah, I would like to add here. Actually, I do agree with both. Like, you know, one thing is if we live in China, I was in China for 15 years and I did adapt. That doesn't mean I need to agree with everything, but I was living there, you know? So I think it was good for me to adapt there. But on the other side, we were a Slovenian company, so we had also our culture in the company. So I needed to do that bridge. Bridge cannot be like this. It's very hard to climb. It should be like this, you know, so that you don't need to climb. So to do that bridge, it's yeah, you need to do it actually, but still you are in China. So if you go to the Chinese business partner, to someone who is going to buy your products, it is you need to adjust to them in certain way. I think it's also the opposite. If they will need you in Slovenia, if they will come to Slovenia, they will need to adjust to some things here, you know. But as well in China, is it changing? For example, a lot of companies lately were serving me coffee when I came, you know, for a meeting. This was not something usual. Usually you will get tea or hot water.
Yeah.
But since they know we foreigners like to drink coffee, they were asking me if I would, if I would like a coffee. So this is as well adjustment from their point, you know. Or if you go for a lunch, they will give you fork if it's possible to get them in the restaurant, not only chopstick. Things like this, maybe small things, but I think also important in a way. Or maybe when coming to the business meeting, you know, we are shaking hands. In China, you are passing the business card, right? But now lately, I got more and more Chinese business partners. When I arrived, they did shake my hands, you know. So I think Chinese are also adapting, but like I said, to the way we are there. So I guess we should adapt more.
No,
maybe just one more, just one more comment. I saw in the chat now, I think question was like how to do this guanxi on Zoom meetings, you know? Yeah, it's much harder than in person, but maybe something that was, or it's still funny for me sometimes, you know, when I'm not on Zoom, but on WeChat, let's say we are texting a lot or talking, and I'm getting all sorts of emojis from business partners, you know. So for us, it's like, we want to be formal, but they are sending me like smileys, dancing bears, stuff like that, you know. So this is also a sort of like, connecting with
connecting, relax
right?
the situation. And as again, like the two heads, okay, your perception is it's not so formal or professional, and for the other part, it's like I'm making it easier because I'm not seeing your face, so I'm going to use some emojis or you know, nice pictures to get engaged. And by the way, WeChat is a great tool for the Chinese market for developing guanxi, and also it's not only the meeting in the moment or by Zoom or by WeChat, it's all the background work you have to do to arrive there. So maybe in Chinese New Year, how many of you have sent some like greetings to the Chinese colleagues for your Chinese colleagues in China? Maybe I didn't say it, but it's all right. But for the next time, maybe any fiesta, maybe like the next one, or two days ago, the Lantern Festival, just send them like happy holidays, something like this to keep running the guanxi. Okay. Rosalia said I work hard for that. Yeah. Yes, I send some chocolate to the customer. Right. Just send just details or some pictures. Like I used to work like in the soccer football industry, and when I'm watching football, I'm passing in front of Bernabeu or Camp Nou, and just send some picture for my customer. Like, look, next time you are in Spain, I will. We are going to watch a game in here in Camp Nou. So something, you know, something like in the future when you come to your country, we're going to visit that or anything, just to make sure your connection is still alive. Okay. So watching posts and refer contacts. That's right. Just small tips. It's work for you, it will be work for everyone here, all right? So bridging bridges across cultures, right? That's the kind of be a title of a nice book. So next, again with Hofstede, universalism. One truth, just one, okay? Focus on the law. All the people are the same, equity. Switzerland, Germany, UK. And then the other part, China, Russia, India. Holistic thinking means everything at the same time, all right? Focus on the relationships, favors, very important. Do a favor, get a favor in return. Power distance, hierarchy, right? So Maragain, I remember a few years ago, a Chinese contact I have on social media, congrats me for 中秋节 out of the blue and didn't understand why. Now you understand, right? It's something because maybe this a contact wants something from you, maybe later, but it's a good start point. Like happy holidays. Like, look, I remember you you are a fan from Real Madrid. This weekend I saw a game. Or I remember you like Chinese literature, and look, a new book is come out this week. So anything to keep this fire alive, right? So again, 5 tips to understand. You will get all the slides later, okay? So 5 tips to understand particular cultures. Pay more attention to personal relationships than the situation. Build your guanxi. We're going to talk more about guanxi later. The rules are guidelines. It's not equal for everyone. It's not equal for the boss and for the employee. So different, okay? There are many unwritten rules, and you will only know when you live in China and you have a lot of experience in Chinese market. And be more pragmatic and flexible. That's my last tip, because you have to be more flexible than in your own market, right? Okay, Maggie, send me an email and maybe I can able to tell you more about Chinese business culture. Great. Or maybe we can make like a post in LinkedIn later and everyone can contribute. Or maybe if you have a Slack channel, and we also can share all the knowledge, and we can recommend a book. Yeah, we can be Zoom friends. Yeah, a WeChat group. Thank you, Rosella. Thank you for that kind of idea. WeChat group will be better. So if you are going to make a WeChat group, and at the end you can send the link or the QR code, you are welcome. Thank you very much for the idea. Great idea. So last part, low power distance and high power distance. Just see the person, the white person in the middle. Maybe in a German situation, we see a leader like another employee, the same size. But in China, we have the 大老板, we have the big boss, like very tall, very high, very high level boss in that sense. And we call it power distance because the distance from the person who has power is very large, and the communication will be difficult. So a good question is a friend of mine. He joined in the company. He was surprised to see that colleagues call their boss by his first name, like, hey, Antonio, how are you? He also see many times employees questioning the boss on the team's decisions, right? Hard thing. So is it in Norway or is it in China, this situation? Yeah, it sounds like Scandinavian. Yes, definitely in Norway. Thank you. That's right. It's more Norway than China. In China, maybe in the new kind of startup companies, maybe you can call the boss by his name, but we don't. Even we can, but we don't. We just say the surname, apellido, surname with his like his title, like Liu Zong means boss Liu, or Liu Laoshi means Professor Liu. Okay, we just like we make like your surname with your title. It's the right way to call one in the company. So again, low power distance or democratic bosses. Hierarchy is for practical purposes, independence, decentralization, equality among the workers. And the subordinate expect to be consulted, right? Just think if your country or your company or your culture is low or high power distances. And the high power distance, just think about China or the company you know, or your colleagues, or just think about the China like the society of China, high power distance, autocratic bosses, dependence on bosses, centralization, respect to the superiors, inequality is normal, and the employee, the subordinate, expect to be told what to do. Okay, no autonomy. So again, the perceptions. From a low power distance employee to see a high power distance boss. I have doubts and you have the answers. If you know answering that, you are a bad leader. And from a high power distance boss, seeing a low power distance employee. Are you challenging me? You are not obedient worker. So again, the perceptions are different when even the issue are the same, okay? And low power distance boss to a high power distance employee. Your lack of attitude, be more autonomous, and the high power distance employee are thinking, you are a bad leader. Tell me what I have to, tell me what I have to do. If you not tell me what I have to do, you are a bad leader. So just think about this kind of situations. Maybe you are working for someone in China, maybe the situation with your boss, or maybe you are the boss and you have Chinese employees. Just think about this kind of situation. Maybe it happens to you, or it will happen to you where when you are working in China with a Chinese company, especially when you have like a older Chinese boss, right? So more tips to understand the high power distance. With power comes privileges. Decisions are made from top to bottom. Okay, the superiors are no accessibles. That's why we call this town with the power. Children learn obedience, and the hierarchy speaks. As Inea said about the business cards, and also on the table. Inea, are you with us? It's like a Ouija question. Are you with us? Can you tell us something about the business card?
Yeah.
Yes, the way you offer in the business cards. Or you used to offer in the business cards the way with both hands.
Sorry, can you repeat? It was the bad
yeah,
connection.
with the business cards, the differences between between Slovenia and China. You know, in Chinese market, we like offering like with both hands the business card like this. In the part you can read your name. You done great. Like adapt your name to Chinese, to easier for us to call you.
Yeah, this is the thing we were talking at the beginning, right? So make sure your business card is always as well in Chinese language. So try to translate your name or the opposite. So you should have business card with English and Chinese. And of course, if I will pass my business card to Chinese, I will turn with Chinese side to him. Or if the opposite, if he will give it to me, it's going to be the English way, so I can read your name and position and actually everything. Because if you will give me business card only in Chinese and I cannot read it, it's going to be very hard for me to understand who the person I'm talking is, especially if you have a lot of people in the meeting room, and then to remember all the names and positions, of course, it's hard. So for me, this is one really good thing, actually. In China, first thing is business card is not like a handshake and name, and then I need to remember the name, who was that, or like
and also the position of the person, like means
the position, of course, so you know who you are talking with.
Yeah, because we like the hierarchy of the person in the company. It's not the same the president or the director. So in the business card, make it clear who are you in your company. And also on the table, how do we know who is who in talking about the hierarchy level on the table? So you know the small tips, or you're going to tell us afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're talking about the letter after the questions. It's very, very funny because this is small details. You can identify who is the boss on the table, right? So always name card on the table, highest thing in the center. Good tip. Thank you. So let's make another.
And he's coming. And
yes.
when he's coming in, the first or the last?
Good question. Good question for the chat. So yeah, it is kind of like a exam for people who know the Chinese culture. So we are going to make a lot of these kind of questions. Choose two of them. We have cow, chicken, and grass. Okay, it maybe sound obvious, but you know, obvious is not obvious for everyone. That's a tricky question because when we are talking about in Spanish, we say sentido común, common sense, and we have a frase, a sentence. We said el sentido común es el menos común de todos. I know how to translate this very quickly. Maybe Mar or Arancha can help me with this sentence in the chat, and I will continue with this question. Choose two of them. We have cow, chicken, and grass. Okay, so A will be for cow and chicken, B will be cow and grass, and C will be chicken and grass. Yes, cow and chicken are farm animals. Cow and grass, mutual benefit and relationship. C, chicken and grass. C, a lot of C. It's a real example from the book, The Geography of Thought, How Asian and Western Think Differently and Why, by Rachel Nisbet, a very good book. At the end, I will send you like the cover of all the books I'm using it. And it's my personal recommendation to read a lot of books about intercultural communication and then about the Chinese market. I will recommend 4 very good books about this, okay? So C, everyone is saying C, A, or B. Okay, so the 3 are very valid. As the book said, most of the Western Western countries choose A because they want to categorize cow and chicken are farm animals. But if we choose B, cow and grass, we like to relate, like cow eats grass or something you say like that. Okay. Yes, mutual benefit and a relationship. Yeah, maybe you're more Asian, or maybe you know that. Maybe you are very sensible to these kind of questions, and this is very good for you because you can adapt yourself to other cultures more easily. Maybe, okay. And if you see it happens again, Eastern would like to relate chicken and grass, okay. But common sense is the least common of the senses. Sorry, my connection is good. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, common sense is the less common of all the senses. That's right. That is the good. I'm asking Mar for do this kind of translations because she's a professional translator. Okay, that's why I abuse of the trust we have each other to do this kind of what do you call it? Like I don't know, this kind of translations. It's like at the same time, something like that. At the same time, translation, real-time translations. Thank you. So again, Asians we like to relate. That's why we love connections, and that's why we love guanxi. It's a mental thing. We like to relate everything. Everything is connected. Remember the red picture? Everything is connected. Very confused, but it's not confused for us. Our lifestyle is kind of based in connections, right? So this what we have seen already in module 2, high context, low context, the cultural dimensions. Okay, I'm running out of time, and Chinese value like guanxi, we see a little bit, and mianzi, we'll see it later. And now in the third part, I would love you to apply this kind of knowledge you already learned to a real situation, okay? Another very good book, Sun Tzu, the Art of War. If you know the enemy and yourself, you need no fear the result of 100 battles. So now we know a little bit more about the Chinese part, but how about yourself? So that's why I will give you again the link to this test. It's very easy, like a multiple choice question, like 25 questions. In 20 minutes, you will see the results. And you can compare yourself, like, okay, I'm Chinese, I'm Spanish, and I would love to compare it to the other country, China. So you will see the blue one is what you scored, and the red pyramid is the media, the average range of that country or Sun Tzu. Yes, a lot of yes, it's the red one. The red pyramid is that culture or country. If you are like at the same spot, it's perfect. But if you are very far from the pyramid, it's something you have to work on. Maybe your behavior, your abilities to decode the country will be more difficult for you. But if you are close, it will be easier, because it's a little thing you have to adjust your behavior to succeed in that country or culture, right? Very easy to do it. Okay, Nikolai. Yes, this is the last thing I give you, and no, it's this. Okay, this one. This is the last thing I give you. So just let me give you the link and explain it to you. Okay. So we're going to use, this is for homework, right? And it's optional. We have the 3 types of Chinese negotiators, and you have the profile of each of them, and you can fill it with what you know about the Chinese market, with your tips to how to negotiate with that kind of person. So now I'm finished. We can move to the question part. Nikolai, should we start with the questions, or I have?
I think Antonio. I think actually you maybe you can continue now, and then we get back to some questions after. Also, Yanea has presented the case.
So just 2 minutes to finish. Like this one.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much. Si te suena chino, aprende chino. It's like we start with this sentence. Me suena chino. It's like I don't understand it. Si te suena chino, aprende chino. It sounds Chinese to you, then learn Chinese. It sounds Greek to you. Okay, learn Greek. Okay, it's like empower yourself to go anywhere, to go any market, and you can make it, because the knowledge, you can learn it, the attitude, you can correct it, and the ability, you can train it. So it's up to you to succeed or not in other countries or cultures. And thank you, the organization, for having me here. Also, the iceberg picture comes again. What we learned today is like only very small tip of what we know about China. We are here. Maybe we are not even on the top of the visible part. And we have a saying in Chinese is 活到老学到老, life to be old, learn to be old, like lifelong learning. So please keep learning about China, anything. Thank you also for European Small and Medium Enterprises Center for having me here. And books to read. These 4 books about intercultural communication, and these 4 about China. And the Chinese honeymoon period is from a colleague from LinkedIn. His book is coming out right now, today. in ebook format. It's with a lot of tips to how to succeed in Chinese market. And if you want to have some fun this weekend watching some films, intercultural touch. Okay, the first one from, he's not even Chinese, he's half Korean, half American. Shanghai Calling, an expat living in Shanghai. The second one is from Darín and Un Cuento Chino, from the point of view of Argentina. The Faraway, very good film, made in China from the French point of view. Perdiendo el Este from Spanish point of view, and La Estrella Che Noche from Italian point of view. Very good films with your own country touch. I love them. With this, I can finish and then pass the word to Inea, or we can talk about all the questions, Nikolai, if you want. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Antonio. And don't go anywhere, because we will return to the questions very soon. We have already received some and we'll get back to them soon. But before we get to the Q&A session, we will continue to the second part of today's session, where we have Yanea. Now, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly this time, since we had a lesson on how to do it. But Yanea will kind of pick off where Antonio left off.
Almost.
Yeah, close enough. Some intercultural communication issues here, I see. Okay,
you still need to practice a little bit, but
I will do my best. But maybe Yanea, maybe you can try and present your case and your kind of view on this.
Okay, let me share. Okay, so good day to everyone. I guess we all met already 2 days ago on our first session, but still, if there is someone new today, my name is Yanea, as I told a few times today. And I was working and living in China for 15 years. So I would like to share some of my experiences, some of practical everyday things that were happening to me. Antonio did explain a lot today, and I do agree with more or less everything he said. I guess as well, sometimes we have a different, he's Chinese, I'm not, so he thinks, he sees things differently, and I was trying to adjust in China for all the time I was there. So today, what I would like to present first, we were talking about guanxi already today, which is relationship. And maybe before as well, I noticed one of the questions like, yeah, in Europe, we have these relationships as well. But maybe, I don't know, this is my explanation, is like, we more see this as networking. Maybe this is the word I can use. And this guanxi in China is more on like, also on personal level. So for me, when I came to China at the beginning, and not only in business environment, also in taxi, every taxi driver was asking me the same things, neighbors in the elevators, you know, like, how old are you? Are you married? How much money do you earn? Where you spend money? You know, I was like surprised. These are like personal things for us to share. I'm not going to share with you my salary, you know, but this is the normal question, and you should be prepared for that and answer to that, you know. So if they were asking, are you married? Why not? Like, they don't need to hear like the sad sobby story why you are not married. Just, I don't know, maybe answer like, oh, I'm still looking, you know, now I'm in China, maybe I can get a Chinese husband, you know. So they were like, yeah, of course, we can find someone for you, or something like that, you know. So be ready for those kind of questions, and that is getting close to your business partner, let's say, because this is the normal questions I was getting at lunches, meetings, and so on. Yeah, another, I think, most important thing, it's food. So make sure 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock for lunch and dinner, you're gonna be free. Even though the meeting should be like longer, take time for lunch, take time for dinner, and when you will get food there, maybe you're not going to eat everything. You know, they would like to show you that they are proud of their food. They will order the most expensive, and maybe the most expensive, it's not something that we would have on the plate. So if you will get, I don't know, blood, dogs, some strange things from the water, you don't need to eat it if you don't like, but be polite about it. Don't just make the face, oh, I'm not going to eat that, or something like that. Try. There will be many food on the table. For example, I don't eat seafood. So a lot of times there were a lot of nice, expensive crabs on the table, but I didn't eat them. I always find something that I like, some vegetable or some meat. So when they were like, oh, you don't eat that, oh, we need to order something, they were like embarrassed because I didn't want to eat what was on the table. I was like, oh no, you know, this dish is my favorite. I can order this every day. I can eat the whole plate myself. So of course they did order another plate of that dish that I like. So try to, don't be like, oh, I don't like Chinese food, I would like to go for a burger. Don't do that. And as well, if you're not used to use chopsticks, if you are used to, they will say, oh, look at you, you don't need fork, you can use chopstick. If you are not, try anyway. They will be very happy to teach you, and as well you can have a good laugh at the table when you are not be able to use it the proper way, and at least try. This is that socializing you are doing with them. So really show interest in what in their culture, and as well, like we said before, prepare some fun facts about your country. For me, one of those experiences was like when I was explaining Slovenia, and then it was the fact we have 2 million people. So they always thought, I don't know how to say 2 million in Chinese, because I was speaking in Chinese with them. I was like, no, really, it's 2 million, not 20 or 200 or whatever. It's 2 million. We can put the whole Slovenia in the building I'm living in. You know, I was living in the small city with 10 million people. So they were like, oh, really, 2 million? They cannot imagine. So things like that will make a good atmosphere, a good experience while dining or having meeting. As well, before Antonio also mentioned, I would like to say, don't make, if you don't agree with something, if it's not something you believe in, try to avoid that topic. For example, once I was invited, we had a customer in Yulin, so they invited me for the festival there. And I was really excited, like, yeah, but what kind of festival is that? I didn't know, because they told me in Chinese and I never heard of it before. So then they were saying, yeah, this festival is on June 21st, you know, when the day and the night are the same length, and we eat some special food like lychee and, you know, the dog meat. And when they said the dog meat, I suddenly remember, this is in Western countries, we are calling this like dog festival. So I didn't have like urge to go there, but I didn't want to be impolite. I'm not going to tell them like this is not okay or however. So I was like, yeah, of course, I would like to see, I will see, but you know, in June I often go home. So if I will be in China, I will come, otherwise maybe next year, you know. So try to avoid that political teams that we don't agree, or it's not going to do any good if we go there. So as well, you can see this, you can do guanxi on the level we were talking before, like the hierarchy in China. So usually when I was in position as a GM, I was the one who can get the meeting with GM or president of another company. Someone from my sales team could not go to the meeting with the GM alone, you know. So they were doing their job on their level, R&D with R&D. So as well with those meetings from Slovenia, I was used to, you know, you need to have like big presentations, be official, present your company very, very well into details. But that's not what they were expecting from me. You know, they have a team, they have R&D team who is doing their job, sales team doing their job. When I came to the meeting with GM, one of my best meetings was, we had tea, not coffee, tea. He had like typical decorated Chinese office, which are very nice, you know, with all the furniture, with sofa in, and as well with tea table. So he was preparing the tea the old traditional correct way. So the whole procedure is nice to see. If this is something new for you, you can involve in talking. They will be more than happy to explain what are different is, what is good to do or not. And what we were talking was about ghosts. I found out that in that area, they do believe in ghosts. So he was the one who believes as well. And he was explaining me a lot about that. So what was the fun part after? After that, we immediately signed the contract. We got the contract the next day, signed from them, which we were waiting for a year or so, you know. So yeah, do the the guanxi. And one more thing that I found quite a big gap between the countries, where we are used to do in Slovenia or in Europe a lot of presentations. We like to explain in the details how good is our company, all the details about the product. I will not say this is not important, but be aware when you need that, you know. So you need to have, of course, you need to have all the documents, and probably, I don't know, when they will come to do the audit, they will need all that. But when you go for a meeting, like I said before, with maybe higher management that they are not involved, forget about that. And you need to be really fast. There, when I'm going for a meeting, they're always, okay, we have new project, now we need a sample. So, of course, I did call in our headquarters. I wanted to talk with our R&D. I have sent all the documents, and then I was waiting for an answer. After a week, I got an answer. Yeah, now we did check everything. We can do the sample. Sample is going to be here in 3 months. What did our Chinese competitor did? They delivered the sample next morning, literally the next morning. The sample was not good, but they did something. They did it like really fast. They brought it there. And by the time, in 3 months that we delivered our first sample, they were maybe there for 20 times, giving them 20 different samples. And not only we were not in touch with them, because I couldn't call them because I had no news for them. If I called them, they would ask me like, so how is with sample? Oh, we are still waiting. What's the procedure? We are doing on it, but it's going to be in 3 months. I don't have any news for you, you know. And they were there like weekly, having this connection with them, bringing the samples personally. So, you know, when you have something, you go there again, you hang out with them, you connect with them. So you are doing guanxi also in this way. So yeah, shortly, I hope I gave you some of the examples in the short time I have. Maybe if we have Q&A, or I saw also some of the questions from before. So I don't know, Antonio, do you have some of your insights, or should I as well go to some of the questions we had before?
Yes, just click on with some question we had before and just answering some Q&A.
So if you have some of your insights, please let me know.
Okay.
Maybe you see differently. I did write down as well one of the
Pedro is saying the negotiation part. Should we go back for this because we still have time? Yes, okay, Nikolai. Yes, thank you. Yes, it's like a quick okay, compartir pantalla. Yes, agree. Everyone's agree. Just we go back to the negotiation part. So, okay, where is that? This no. Okay, let me
maybe in the meantime that you find, I would like to comment one of the thing you had at the beginning with Nali Nali. I had one of the experiences. I also found it funny when I was in China for maybe 2 or 3 years, and I could speak Chinese. I was studying Chinese already before, so they were all like, "Oh, your Chinese is so good. So where did you learn? How long are you in China?" And I was not so modest and polite as you were describing before, so I didn't say nine. I was like, "Yeah, well, how聪明?" So that does mean, yeah, I'm very smart, but if I figure out if I do it in like a fun way, they were like, "Yeah, really, you are so smart. You can speak so well Chinese after such a short time being in China." So maybe also this, the way you are, like, you cannot say, "Yeah, I'm super smart. That's why I speak." So yeah, well, how it's on me, huh?
Some ways, the way you say it's like the words are the same, but the way you say it, the context of the situation will save you from like embarrassment or some like I'm very smart, like, okay, right, very good thing. So let's go back from the last part, negotiation Chinese way. Okay, so the people ask me how many types of Chinese negotiator or who are the Chinese when they are negotiating. So we are 3 archetypes of Chinese negotiators. With the picture you can see Confucian, Sun Tzu, and the other like a politician guy. And that's right. This is the 3 archetypes of a Chinese negotiator. Let's start with the first one, the Confucian gentleman. The name is not mine. They are like a funny nickname to remember them more easily. So the Confucian profile, the Confucian gentleman profiles likes the relationships like old friends. Okay, you can change the company you're working for, but you always be you. So develop like a personal connection. As Inea said, the connection is not only network, it's like a personal level and also a professional level of connections. Okay. So second, in the West, signing the agreement is important, but for China, develop the relationship, 老朋友, yes, develop a relationship, it's more important. That's why instead of watching your PowerPoint, it's beautiful PowerPoint, we are having tea. We are talking about our lives, because for me, it's more important you as a person than your company. Maybe it's your company today, but maybe it's not tomorrow. So that's why I want to make business and make friend with you. Okay, 老朋友, old friends, correct. And It's a long-term vision and focus. So in this kind of long-term relationship, you want to tell yourself your personal story, your vision, your mission, the position of your company in your national and international market. So, and your reputation and your position in the society. Maybe you get some prize in your region, your local region. Just tell it. Don't be shy. It's good for this kind of relationships in the future, because from the Chinese part, they are related to you, putting you in some places in their minds. All right. So this person is more like an entrepreneur than a businessman. Okay. This profile wants to help you to make business, to sell your products, to develop your personal development in Chinese market. So that's a real win-win. You both wins, right? Let's move to the second one, the strategist, based on the thinking of Sun Tzu, the author of The Art of War, like a very great book. But there are too many. One more book is the equal of importance, but it's not so good known in the West, called the 33 Stratagemas. It's like a smaller but very useful tactics to negotiate with Chinese partners, right? So for him, the market is like a battle. For him to win, you have to lose. It's a win-lose situation. Very sensitive to business opportunities. Don't tell him qualities of your product. Just tell him how he can make money with your product, right? So perceptions, two different perceptions. Don't tell all the qualities. Your wine is the best, your mobile is the best, your thing is the best. Okay, you are the best, but tell me how I can make money with your product, right? So maybe, yes, so what just I said, okay, he wants a lot of concessions, because in the negotiation, you have to like give him a lot of small concessions. He will ask you a lot of concessions, and he will feel he's winning with these kind of concessions you are giving to him, right? So for him, losing a negotiation is like losing mianzi. We didn't talk about mianzi. Maybe after this slide, we can talk a little bit about mianzi. We still have time, right? And a lot of tactics, different tactics from different books, from experience. It's maybe not so ethical for you, but it's ethical for him and for the Chinese market, right? And of course, he's more a businessman than an entrepreneur. And for him, win-win means he wins twice. Okay, this win-lose situation, right? And don't you want to think he's the worst of the three? For me, the third one is more difficult. So the third one is the Mao is the bureaucratic. He's a politician. His aim, the position of China, the country, in the sector. What does he want? The transmission of know-how. I've had a lot of projects like this, like joint venture with Chinese company, with a European company, and the Chinese company doesn't care about the project. They only want to learn the know-how, right? Just be careful with this. And his objectives, his aim is aligned with the Chinese political plans. How do we know, or how can we know the Chinese political plans? Any idea in the chat? So should we read some books? Should we watch news? What should we do if we want to know more about the Chinese? Yeah, thank you, Pedro. I was waiting for that answer. The 5 years plan. Every 5 years, China, the country, make like 5 years plan. So the newest plan comes this year, no, last year, like will last for the next 5 years. So you have all the clues in this kind of planes quinquenales, 5 years plan. Okay, it's very hard to read, but you can extract a lot of political information and what does China wants in these 5 years of development, right? So C6 to put on a political matter. I don't know if it's a very literal translation. It's like he want to make like him very important for the government of China to make something what helps China to be stronger or to be like a higher in this kind of position of the sector, right? Demonstrate your company's good relationship with your local government. It's very important for him. If your company are against your country or your region or your local issues, for him, it's not possible to make business with you because it's not possible. He doesn't understand it. He will understand your company or your person are very aligned also with your political, with your government in your country. That's why 2 years ago, we had some difficulties with a company from Catalonia, you know, the issue with Catalonia and Spain. They're like, okay, we'll stop all the negotiations until the things are back again, you know. So, and then the corona situation comes in, so we stop all the negotiation there. So, yes, and he's more a politician above businessman or merchant, okay? And for him, the win-win situation goes out and China wins is the big deal for him. So make sure everything you do with him, China has to win. So with these three kind of negotiators, you can group all the negotiators in China. Maybe one person when negotiates with you, sorry, he's a little bit of Confucian gentleman, and then the strategist comes in, and also he loves China. This is not like one person, one negotiator. It can be one person with these three archetypes of negotiators in one person. I don't know if you understand this idea. So they can switch. Like the philosophy in China, I can be a Confucian person, and the afternoon I can go to a Taoist temple to ask and my ancestors to help me for my business, and in the weekend I can be a Buddhist. So it's three profiles at the same time. It may be in the same person. That will make very difficult to identify the things. But if you know the person, the profile, you can make your own tactics to how to negotiate with this person. So that's why I put the link before in Padlet. I will give you again the link. So yes, you can make your profile all together, a group, to giving tips how to negotiate with a Confucian gentleman, how to treat the strategist, how to make the Maoist person happier, or how we can learn, or what we can learn from the 5 years plan to make things easier in the Chinese market. So with this, I think we finished this part. And if you want, we can make the homework right now in tablet in real time, and we can discuss, we can debate all the answers you are giving. Okay, so sorry. Yes. Here, down here, you have like a plus. Just click on the plus, and no, I will share the screen. I will share the screen, will be easier. No, okay, just give me a second. Yes, 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 easier. See, here you click, and you can type anything. Okay, and you can ask, you can add a link, a picture, take a picture of yourself, and then publish. And everyone can do it at the same time. Just make sure you can enter, read the profile, and just give some tips how to negotiate with this person. It's like a collective intelligence. So it's clear, this part? Should I? Okay. So now we can go to the question part. Any question? in the preguntas y respuesta or via chat. Thank you, Nikolai.
Okay, well, first and foremost, thank you, Antonio, and also thank you, Yanea, for the great presentations. I think the chat is the most active I've probably ever seen the chat be in a Zoom meeting, so that's good. We do have some questions. I think there is a couple of technical questions. I'll just get off the way right first. There was someone who asked if today's session is being recorded and if it's possible to see it afterwards. The answer is yes and yes. So on the EU SME Centre YouTube page, you can just type for EU SME on YouTube. We will upload it there in just a few days. So you can find the session there, and also the slides after today's session will also be sent to you guys on email. That was the first question. Then there was another question that I think, Antonio, you already answered in the chat, but someone asked about recommendations for books on Chinese guanxi. And I thought, since Yanea's presentation was also about guanxi, if you have anything to add, any suggestion off the top of your head, Yanea, please just interrupt me. Perhaps you can think about it for a little bit. But to move on to the third question, I see we're just receiving some more here. A question reads, could you please advise how many business people in China are using LinkedIn for business communication? Okay, is WeChat the only way to connect to them, or is there any other platform?
Yes, let me start with the LinkedIn thing. Is not working anymore in China. So, so LinkedIn will be out of China and very soon. Or I think it's still working. I don't know. I'm not in China.
It's already gone. It's already gone.
Already gone.
It's changed. So there is a version in China where you can only use the job hiring function, but the feed is gone now. Yeah.
I'm still thinking the best way to meet some new clients or new companies. Still. Looking for that person in common with the other part. I don't know if it works for you, Inea or Nikolai, when you're in China. You want to meet some new company, new clients, and the first thing I will do is through my WeChat network or with my personal network to look for someone who has some kind of connection with the other part, and then start in there. No, like we say in Spanish, like puerta fría, just knock the door, will be not working.
Yeah, I agree. Also, maybe here about LinkedIn. Not only LinkedIn, a lot of things is not working in China. More or less everything also connected with Google search, Facebook, all the things we have here. So that's why I really recommend to use WeChat or other Chinese platforms, because that is working and that's everyone is using. So it's easier for us in Europe to download WeChat and we are connected than to try if it's gonna work or not, and so on. And maybe also, before I saw the question, when we were talking about the business cards, like there was a comment, now you can just scan the WeChat code, which my opinion is that is instead of giving the phone number. So if someone in China would ask me for a phone number, I would be like, what's wrong with you? I'm not giving you the number. That's something strange, because it's always going through WeChat. But the business card, I think we cannot use it WeChat instead of business card. That is still something formal. Like we said, on the business card you have in front of you at the meeting, so you cannot forget the name of the person you are talking, or the position and everything else. So Antonio, you think that we can change?
Well, we are changing now, because it's funny, you know, they just scam me with my WeChat code. That's why a lot of people have two WeChat accounts, one for professional and then the one for my family or personal. Or even in WeChat, you can organize like, okay, this person can read my—
if you have like organized, like—
yeah, can see my results or my walking steps, or just for, you know, for news. So we can classify here the new person in your agenda. So that's the new function.
So, but still, like, to have it in a business form with like everything, not just like I'm gonna have your contact and that's it. Like I'm putting the phone number in the phone, right?
Yeah, yes, it's different approach. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, one other question that I was thinking about when you talked about it's especially for you, Yanea, you talked about this case where you were invited to this festival, and it turned out this festival was about eating an animal you were not comfortable with. So the question the question is, what do you do if you find yourself, or do you have any tips in these situations if you find yourself in a situation where one kind of local reaction is expected of you, but you may not feel fully comfortable with that? I think for me, it happens sometimes in business meetings. Maybe I have to drink something, maybe I have to smoke something, and sometimes I'm not really that interested in doing that. So maybe what would your advice be, how to deal with these situations?
Yeah, I got in a lot of situations like this. For example, as well, we had at one of the dinners, we had a dog meat on the table. I wouldn't even know, but I had a colleague sitting next to me, and he knew about, he was working with me, so he was expecting that I would not eat if I know. So he told me, like, but he told only me. He didn't like say over the table, oh, there's dog meat, she's not going to eat. He just told me, Irene, you know, there is a dog meat in that dish. So in case you don't want to eat, just skip that dish. You know, this was, let's say, one of the situation. So if you have some Chinese colleagues that are working with you, they already know your culture. Or with drinking, yeah, that is one. I think things are changing a little bit, but still depend on if it's really like traditional Chinese company, if I can use this way, or depend on which area in China they are. But these day drinking, we had so many people coming from business lunch drunk that they could not even go home. Like I can say like this, you know.
In the north,
but for me, for me was like I think also one of advantages. I'm woman, so maybe it's not so common for women to drink. So I could skip with that excuse. They were not pushing me so much. Or what I did, I said, oh, I'm driving, you know, I'm driving myself. I came with my car, so I cannot drink and drive, something like this. Or you can have one of the colleagues who will take it over you. So instead of you drinking, we were sending some of the Chinese guy drink, or like, yeah, evening karaoke. You cannot just skip all of it. So you need to find one way, if you can, like, yeah, choose another dish at the dinner, or send someone else who can go in the evening drinking. Or you can say you have like health problems, you cannot drink, you cannot smoke, you cannot try to find excuse that will be accepted. I don't know, Antonio, any other tips?
No, it's just don't say no, like no, okay, but just come up with some excuses. Yeah, like I'm taking tablets, paracetamol. It's okay. I'm taking tablets. I have a heart issue. Okay, my religion won't let me eat a kind of meat, or just like a little explanation. Maybe sounds silly, but it's like it's better than a no. And the second thing, I would say also about the dog meat festival. I'm Chinese. I'm a dog lover, not a dog meat lover. I love animals. I save a lot of dogs and cats on the streets. And that's my final tip. Anything, any culture, no Chinese, no Spanish, any culture, is something make you uncomfortable and you have to cross the line to do business with them. Just think about it twice. It's really what I have to do, or I want to do. I want to be trying myself, my values, my moral, my ethics to do business with, or I can find another partner that I don't have to cross the line. So just think about this. It's a very personal decision to make or not make business with a partner who are not like at the same level as you. Because with the dog meat festival, I will say no, with no explanation, because I'm an animal lover, and I will say no. That's my point. I don't want to cross it. But maybe smoking or drinking, maybe I can cross once or twice, but I will know because I have a health problem now. So that depends on you, in your moral and in your ethics.
Yeah,
But,
I think that's a good point you're bringing up. Finding the balance between not crossing your own boundaries, but also not making your potential business partner lose face. As you alluded to earlier. I think we have time for just one more question that has ticked in. So if we move on to that one, that reads: if we are new in the market and we don't have any connection in the market yet, what would you suggest to start in the first stage in terms of finding a new customer? Maybe not. Yeah.
Hire expert to do the job for you. No, this is the very first step. Like, okay, I want to know the market. I need someone to go with me. So just go to the expert, just to go to the shop, so find more information, and maybe with a low budget to make some with analysis de mercados to know the market. Maybe in social media, know the Western ones, the Chinese one with Weibo, WeChat, and do something to see the reaction, and then go to the institutions and experts to know to get some, the client list. In Spanish, we have the Cámara de Comercio in the commercial champion in China.
Spanish Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, they will help you with just start your business in China.
Yeah, maybe I can also just say that that is one of the reasons that the EU SME Centre is also doing these activities, is to hopefully find potential business partners. And sometimes we do host events that are like matchmaking events between European companies and potential Chinese counterparts. I think the person who asked this question I saw were working in Denmark, so could also reach out to me working with the Danish Chamber of Commerce. We may also have some connections for you there. So. But also this question is actually very much related to our session number 3 that we will have on March 8th. That is under the topic of ways to enter the Chinese market. So actually that was a good question to sort of end today's session out with as an appetizer for next time. But before we get to next time, I just want to once again say a very big thanks to Antonio and to Janea for sharing your expertise today with us, your experiences. I think it has been very valuable to those who have been watching. Yeah, so these sessions that we're organizing together with Spirit Slovenia, Martin's team, and everyone who is here today with Eurochambres and the EU SME Centre. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will have our next session on March 8th. That will be the 3rd session on ways to enter the Chinese market. So if you don't receive an email about it already, you can sign up for the event on our website as well. So with that out of the way, I think we have concluded today's session. So unless any of you guys have a last thing you want a last takeaway.
Yes, just a small tip for your guanxi and network connection for the next session, March 8th. Just don't forget to say congratulations to all the Chinese women you know on your WeChat. That will be a great point to start the conversation to keep going on. It's a big festival in China, the March 8th.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Antonio. So I think with that, thank you guys once again. Thank you to Spirit Slovenia, to Eurochambres, and from EU SME Centre here. Thank you guys for today, and we will see you next time. So have a good afternoon or
thank
good
you.
evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.